Everybody, Lisa here, Queen of BravoCon, and this is show number 5. And this week we have a very special guest. But before we introduce him, I want to remind you that Jamie Faquette is our admin of the group. So go ahead and give her a little hello here. And Jamie will be the admin for the group for the rest of the year through all of our BravoCon 2025 engagements and exciting things coming up. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank
I
you.
always got to give Jamie a little thank you. She's also co-hosting the shows with me. So this week we thought we'd have a little treat. We have an insider from BravoCon 2023. His name is Dylan MarcAurele, and Dylan is part of the BravoCon experience for the Bravos, I believe, right, Dylan?
Yep, that's right.
And so we're trying to get new shows in where people talk like the behind the black curtain stories, like little things, things that happen that we don't see, and they can share their experience with us. So Dylan, why don't you tell us what happened at the 23 BravoCon and how did it all start before that?
Yeah, so basically, okay, rewinding to the pandemic, I'm a musical theater writer and composer, and I had too much free time after being furloughed, so I was watching a lot of reality TV, as we do, and I was making little songs, sort of musical theater style songs, and uploading them about specifically Real Housewives of New York, but then later I did more. And that sort of gained a little bit of a following over the pandemic. And then coming out of the pandemic, I decided to produce a live version of like a musical all about Real Housewives of New York. And so we ended up doing like 5 performances. We kept bringing it back because it went well. And then some members of the Watch What Happens Live team came, which I didn't know about till till after. But
Okay.
and I was really happy about it, but I didn't expect anything. And then I got an email saying, "Hey, this BravoCon thing is coming up, and we want to do a song. We want Andy Cohen to sing the song for the Bravo Awards, in the style of like how the Tonys, or the Oscars do a big opening number. Like sometimes it's like Billy Crystal or Neil Patrick Harris. So it would be Andy Cohen doing that. Are you interested?" And I said, this is all
Oh
I've
my
ever dreamed
God.
of. Yeah. So
What a break.
no, it was amazing. It was so amazing. So basically it was like, how can I do something that's easy to sing? Because Andy's not like a
Right.
Broadway star, but he can carry a tune, fit in as many little references as I can to all the different shows and, just make it a fun intro to the
Ah,
Bravo Awards. So that's what we did. I mean, I can get more into the process, but it was like still
yeah.
probably my career highlight.
Well, you know what? You think about it. When you start off doing it, a lot of people did pandemic influencing content creating, and you kind of were so bored.
Oh yeah.
This group kind of had a real lull from 2020 to 2022 because we
Hmm.
had the shutdown of 2020 BravoCon that put everybody in a bummer state, but the whole world was shut down.
Hmm.
2021, they canceled it. So we had almost 2 years of really, and I tried stuff too, Dylan. I tried a podcast back then. I tried doing stuff. I wanted to entertain. We were invited to some Zooms with NBC because they knew about us then, but it was just trying to keep things going. And there was a
Of
lot of
course.
influencers that came out. So what I like is that you kept going
Yep.
and kept finding something and they found you like they found our group.
Hmm.
You got to just go for the fun of it and not really put out that I want to be seen mode. It sounds like that
Absolutely.
word.
No, if
Yeah.
I had emailed them every day asking to do it, I think that it probably wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
They found you. I love that story.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, were you on Instagram and TikTok doing all those too?
Yeah, yeah. Mostly Instagram, but then I tried to do TikTok. TikTok is the first app that's made me feel really old. So I haven't quite figured it
Okay,
out,
just to
but
let you know, there's a huge Bravo verse on TikTok. You
totally.
might want to
Yeah.
reconsider because
I
it
need to get
is,
more into that. No, we had a couple
yeah,
people. I did a few posts and we had a couple people come to the show that said they learned about it through
yeah,
TikTok. But yeah, so they had me over. I was writing a bunch of different drafts because obviously Bravo might be like,
yeah.
this just joke you're making is maybe a little bit sensitive, and so try to keep things positive because I tend to go a little bit edgy with the
Yeah,
humor, a
well,
little dark. But then I would say one of the funnest parts was before I needed to, in a way that was sensitive. basically test Andy for tone deafness because I work with a lot of actors and you truly never know if someone is on
Yeah.
the spectrum of, tone deaf to, most people can like hum a tune and, even if they're not a great singer, they can match pitch, but some people can't. And so I
Yeah.
needed to basically discreetly figure it out. So after Watch What Happens, he had me up to, the build, whatever that building is. And we basically he was also very embarrassed and very nervous because it's
Oh,
a vulnerable thing to have to
right.
sing if you're not a
Cool.
singer. So
Yeah.
he insisted that we go on the roof so that no one could hear him. And I made him do a bunch of vocal exercises just to get a sense of like his range so that I would know how to write it. And also,
Oh,
if worst case scenario, he is a little bit tone deaf, I could make it maybe more talky or something
right.
like
Sweet.
that. And he wasn't tone deaf. It was great. He did a great job. A lot
Oh,
of like, yeah, 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 like back
yeah.
and forth. And then I think he's told this story, so I think it's fine. But we go back and all of the other producers are smiling and he realizes his mic was on the entire time.
Oh no. Oh,
Well, he's
So
not shy.
he's not shy. No, but it's
That's
amazing
cute.
what singing can. Even the most not shy people will
Yeah,
get a little bit,
I
it's a
know.
tough thing to do. Yeah.
And it's public speaking, but he's excellent at it. You can hear his inflection. So he just has to sing and talk.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And he
Well, I was
sounded
there.
phenomenal. Yeah, it was phenomenal.
I'm so proud. He came a long way. We practiced so much. He said he sang it
Oh,
every day with this kid.
oh,
I only see the progress he made. So whenever anybody says like, "Oh, it
right.
was a little bit gravelly," I'm like, "Stop it right now." He worked very hard and did a great
Yeah.
job.
Yep.
It was a really good show. I went that night and it was so those are listening that haven't gone to BravoCon. The Bravos, at least in 2023, was like the kickoff Watch What Happens Live Friday night show, and every Bravo Lab I think was there. They all sit in the front row and then they get put up on stage during the whole night. But the show kicked off with Andy doing this musical, I believe, and that was it was choreographed and it was really fun. And they have cameras everywhere, so it's not live, but it's recorded. So you can tell you're being filmed. But it was really, really a good show. And I really enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun. So what
It
are we
was,
doing next year?
oh, I don't know. I'm hopeful that they might ask me back, but we'll
I hope
see.
so. Yeah.
Have
So why
any of
don't
the,
you go ahead?
I was gonna say, have any of the Bravo Lebs like recognized you or reached out to you about like any of the tunes or anything that you've made?
For the most part, I've tried to keep my distance just because I want to be able to, I don't want to have anything off limits as far as content that I can talk about. Once
Yep.
you breach that, it's like, oh, then I can't like poke fun at this like horrible thing you did. You know what I mean? If I
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
friends, but I do, I do have some favorites. And so like, yeah, I met Luann and she remembered. I met Candace and she remembered. A few of them actually had a couple lines in the song. So I
Oh,
got to
okay.
meet them at BravoCon. Like Candace had a little like someone like Andy gave her the microphone and she says, "Not today, Neck." Super, super easy, quick. But
Right.
basically right before the show, I had to run around and basically tell these people because they didn't know because they're all so busy. I
Right.
was like, here's
Yeah.
exactly what you need to do. Here's how it's gonna go.
Uh,
And no, they were nice. They were like, "Oh my God, I remember you." Because
uh,
also there are how many Bravo influencers are there? There's like a billion. I don't even consider
yeah.
myself an influencer, but no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was very touched that a couple of them remembered. And then you
So
have other people like I mean, I don't know if we speak her name on this podcast, but Ramona Singer, who zero
Ramona,
idea despite, seven
Oh, of
songs that I
course.
wrote about her.
Of course. Yeah.
she's still talked about.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
mean, the Ramona
Fair
coaster,
game.
love her or not, she's still talked about, and that's what matters
Absolutely.
to Ramona.
Absolutely.
She's
That's good.
consistent. I mean,
That's
she's
right.
just all about
She sure
Ramona, so
is.
Oh, that's so great. So let me ask you this. So this was in 2023 you did that, right? Not
hmm
22. Okay, I was just want to confirm. So let's just go back. So you guys did all the practice, and then did you get to go to Vegas to like practice there on the stage?
Yeah, I had to
Oh,
I had to music direct all of the various singers because they had four people from Vanderpump do the bridge. So I wrote a little
okay.
like section for them because it was when all of the, Scandival stuff was happening.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Can we please give them a little platform?" So I did. And they
Oh,
they were a riot because, just totally conflicted. Like Sheena is down for everything, but like I'm saying things and I'm not even sure if it's registering in her head. I'm trying to think. Katie was like a little bit more reserved, but then totally rose to the occasion. Ariana, like I didn't even know at the time that I was dealing with a future Broadway star. So she
Right.
was perfect. She was so on it. Oh, and I guess, yeah, talk about other falls from grace, but James was
Oh,
I have to be honest, a total pleasure.
Yeah.
But
oh,
everybody has different sides of them. But
Yeah.
yeah.
no, so I was running around, and in fact, I think because of the filming aspect of it, because the crew needs to basically rehearse it, we ran it again and again and again and again. We must have done it
Yeah.
100 times. My husband came with me, and he was able to just sit in for the rehearsal all day the day before. And we ended up needing his body because we had so many the VPR kids weren't there. So we had to basically
Villain.
stand in and like sing their lines for them over and over and over and
Oh,
over and over
Oh, that's
again.
great.
And Andy was learning the choreography. They brought in this amazing
oh,
Vegas choreographer who was making stuff up on the spot. And
wow.
I will say also, Andy kind of flubs the kick line at the end, and he was devastated because all he wanted to do was do that kick line. I don't know if you remember, but the little left, right thing
Yeah.
perfectly, and he switched it, and you can tell on his face he's so upset and
Oh,
disappointed with himself. Of course, we all like immediately. It doesn't matter. We it was great, but
I didn't even notice.
Oh, good. Yeah,
You
yeah. And
don't.
he also had the option because we recorded just in case of disaster or emergency. We recorded Andy singing the whole entire song
Oh,
in a
yeah.
studio.
Sure.
And that was just like as a backup if he wanted it or if he got
Right.
self-conscious about his live performance. Maybe it could be like a little bit of a mix and match situation. And
Yeah.
afterwards, even though it wasn't perfect, he was like, no, I want to do the live thing. I want to use all the live audio. Don't use the studio version. I want to be able to say I did this.
Aw,
That's
that's
really
awesome.
cool. You know what I like is that, when you're on stage in New York after 18 people every day, that's nothing compared to how many thousands were there.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you have to learn when you're doing stuff to just keep the show must go on. You just keep going and
Yep.
nobody noticed and it devastated him, but you know what? He still pulled it off and
Absolutely.
sure, 2 minutes later he forgot because it's such a busy
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's cool. You got to go in and you practice with them, rehearse. I had no idea about that because honestly, when we're prepping for BravoCon, we don't even think of all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
And Andy and the Bravo Labs, they are busy the whole time. Like
Mhm.
there's zero downtime for them to relax.
Yeah, exactly. So
Uh-uh.
he had to know the song like
Yeah.
basically months before. So I
Yeah.
want to say we
Wow.
started working on this in the summer, which I thought was crazy. I was like, this seems a little bit premature, but then I sort of understood their point. It did become tricky because they wanted to incorporate as up-to-date references to the shows as they could, and I was
Yeah.
like, At what point what's our cutoff date? Because I'm gonna
Right.
have to write
Right.
this thing." And but anyway, we sort of fudged it and made it work. But no, the work that they put in goes
I
a
know.
long way back.
Yeah. So let me do a timeline. Summer of 23, they contacted you and it was in the November.
I
That's
think
only
that's
four
right.
months.
Yeah, I guess it's not that much, but I mean, I'm so used to like with the videos that I would do, I would turn them around sometimes like in a day and like,
Yeah.
but there's also so many channels, so many approvals, like when it's through the official, I'm
Yeah.
sure you've dealt with that where it's like I can do my own thing about Bravo, but then once it's more official, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Well, I wrote a book about BravoCon and I didn't need the permission so much as I wanted to use some things and I did ask for permission because in this situation it's better to get permission than to publish a book and then they come back and say
Totally.
we didn't like this. So I got all it didn't take long because I only worked with one person, but I got approved, and then I was like, well, I'm on.
Uh-huh.
And that's all it was. So it is better to ask if you're gonna be doing something with their name on it,
Yeah.
Yep.
to do that. And well, I'm kind of excited to see if you get invited for something next year because
I hope
they were
so.
just in Vegas, so
Yep.
the team
They're
is starting
prepping.
up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, but we'll see.
Well, maybe they want something different because this year there's all new drama.
There
and they're
sure
gonna have a
is.
new theme, so there's probably gonna be a different song that they need or something. But it's
Mhm.
definitely a definitely a very interesting experience because they'll have that kickoff show, and that one's kind of the big one. Then the rest are just more like regular Watch What Happens shows where there's not a big production and kickoff show and stuff like that. But so did you enjoy the rest of BravoCon and get out and do things?
Yeah, I was mostly focused on the song. So,
Yeah.
and I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't even have the whatever it's called, the pass. A little bit salty about that, but maybe that's something that if they ask me back, I can ask for.
Get the
Um
pass.
but you know what? I feel like I still got the full experience because honestly, I'm a huge fan of all of these people, especially the housewives. And
Yeah.
so basically before the show, the Bravos, everyone was kind of in basically a holding cell. It was like a pretty narrow hallway backstage. I don't know
Yeah.
if you stepped back there, but I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Every single Bravo celebrity ever is right here in
Yeah.
this room breathing the same air as me. I won't say who, but like a Bravo celebrity come to me and ask for his hair product. And I was like, oh, I just wrote the song. I'm not here for like personal assisting. Like,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I probably would have passed out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I give you major props for holding it together because I would have I don't know if I could remain professional in that close
I had to
quarters.
be chill. Yeah.
Yeah. Be cool.
That's funny. Well, so here's the thing, Dylan, is that I keep saying that the show is behind the black curtain because at BravoCon, that's when the real stuff is going on with people being real.
Yep.
I almost should rename this podcast because I'm starting to say that more. But I've met some Bravo Labs behind the black curtain, and it's like that's a real person talking, and you're not getting their stage person. So there's a big difference. And you were with probably 100 of them in that hallway, and they all are doing the same thing. Oh my God, they're this person from that show. I didn't,
Yep.
and we're all here
They're
together.
fangirling each other. Yep.
They
Yep.
are, and some
Yep.
don't even know who they are. Like,
Mhm.
so they don't watch certain shows. So it's kind of like funny when you hear those little stories too. But yeah, I talk about that in the book when you see them and you get a little time and you're probably working going, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
funny. It was like there were definitely a lot of people that were exactly as I expected them. Like Candace from Potomac, for instance, was exactly as bubbly and cute and fun
Yeah,
and like just an absolute like so game for anything. Um, Erin from New York was sort of surprisingly and but delightfully kind of spacey. Like
yeah.
I needed her to say like a word or a line. What was it? Um, Oh, it was a reference to Jessel saying Tribeca was up and coming, and so she had to shout like "Bravo" at a key moment. So I was looking everywhere. Where's Aaron? Where's Aaron? She was like the last person to arrive. She just had this like bewildered look. And then I will say it was Bryn who who kind of said, "I'll take care of this," and she went and got her and explained everything. Here's what we're doing. Here's and she winked at me and she's like, "I got this." So yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
cute.
great.
Yeah, what an experience for you, Dylan. That must have been fun. And I'm glad you get to add it to your portfolio or whatever you guys call it of all the things you do. Because little things like that matter, those little stories.
It was
Yeah,
great to get a video, yeah, because a lot of the things that I do kind of are like with live theater, it's just if you don't get a video, it's as if it didn't happen. But of course
right.
that's not true, but it sometimes feels that way. But yeah, it was really wild. And the other
Um,
thing that's kind of funny is when I bring it back to the musical theater world, not everyone watches Bravo. So I
no,
sometimes have to be like, but you have to understand this was like really cool and like some people would like would have died to do this. So
yes,
take my word for
yeah.
it.
I ask people, or I tell them maybe something like, "What's Bravo?" And I go, it's really hard to explain.
It's so hard to
You
explain.
don't
And
know.
like you're a celebrity, Lisa. So like to have to explain that to somebody who doesn't know, like yeah,
I'm a
Yep.
celebrity
you are.
in my own head. No kidding.
No,
Um,
she genuinely is. We could not walk 10
well,
feet without being stopped in Miami.
yeah, it's kind of different for me when I go there because I always try to remember like I'm not in my private life. I'm out being
Yeah.
seen and people know me. So I've had a few mess ups At BravoCon, I got a little drunk one day. I did a live video. I kind of regret, but live it, write it, regret it, delete it.
Totally. That's what I always say.
That was Dorinda. I was like, I'm just deleting it.
Yeah.
And then I found myself doing some other things, but I'm like, that's part of the fun. It's not being
Yeah.
me, the real person there. So I don't put on a stage face, and I'm always just trying to have the best fun I can. But I gotta remember, I get seen in elevators, I get in bathrooms. I'm like, so the
Hmm.
Bravo Lebs are in the same boat as us,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. And we only find out kind of what they were all going through perhaps the next season. Like I'm thinking of like
Yeah.
Southern Charm and everything that happened there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dorit and Kyle talking about the drama at BravoCon, the
Yep,
fourth
that's
wall
right.
is
That's
just
right.
getting there. I
Yeah.
didn't know there was so much drama on with Shep and that. We had the girl last week on the show that talked about Shep's story, and her
Mhm.
Yeah.
little story went viral too. I was like, I think I heard about it at the time, but you're busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. There's a million things to look at and see. I also, it's funny, and maybe this is a little piece of advice though. I'm guessing that your listenership is all people that are gonna actually properly get a pass. But a part of me was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to sneak into something, or maybe there will be something that's open. It's not gonna happen. The lines are like miles and miles and miles long. Like I could not believe how well attended this event was, and I'm sure it's only gonna go up, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, you're talking about, so the listeners of this show are mostly in my group, and they
Yeah.
all buy tickets. Um, the Instagram and TikTok people are just going to start knowing me now soon. That's why I'm putting out this podcast now. So in a few months, people can go listen to all of them because I have the book. I haven't really pushed it out yet. But the lines were way better last year than in 22.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right, right.
the lines I talk about in the book and I'm going to talk about it on the show. It's just GA tickets. It's what it is. VIP, you get a little shorter line, but it's a busy event.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Get there early. So
Yeah.
you didn't go to the whole BravoCon, just the show thing and then just kind of saw the excitement outside?
Correct. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
it was out of budget, but
Well, what
maybe I
about this
can,
year?
that would be great. Still out of budget, but maybe they'll offer if they want to work with me. We'll see.
Yeah, well, add that to the little proposal.
Totally. And it's funny because it was in New York, right? Was that what year was that?
22 was.
22. Yeah.
22. And so that's where I live. That's where I do all my work. And so we
All
just
right.
stood outside hoping to see somebody. And we saw a couple people from some shows that I actually don't watch. But
Oh,
it was like, it was still just thrilling to be around it and then to actually get to. And then when it was announced that it wasn't going to be in New York, I was like, there goes my chance. They're never
yeah.
going to ask me to do anything if they have to fly me over to Vegas. But then, yeah, it all
They
worked
did,
out. They
right?
Yeah.
did. Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad that they found you too to do that. That's the best part of the story was they found you. They're
Yeah.
always on the lookout for stuff. They're always watching for new people, new content, new everything. And the TikTok, back to what I was saying, Dylan, is that yeah, a lot of people didn't like it in the beginning. I've been on it for 4.5 years. And let me
Wow.
just tell you that the Bravoverse, I made a new account just for Bravo stuff. And
Mm.
holy crap, it is so different. And I just follow only Bravo people on it. And I naturally have 600 followers just from just content. And my
Hmm.
videos get so much more views than on Instagram. And
Wow.
I get way new audiences. It's so much different because the FYP page is really the algorithm works different than Instagram. I've
Yeah.
been on Instagram for years and I got 800 followers and I already beat that in TikTok in 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've taken TikTok seriously. So I recorded TikTok, put it out on Instagram. And
Yeah.
I'm
Totally.
like, it's
That's
just,
what you do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the only way I get new followers on Instagram is if I comment on other Bravo pages stuff.
Hmm.
It's
Right. It's
so
a different
weird.
strategy. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I find Instagram more and more frustrating. I find that it's not putting my videos out there in the way that it used to. It's putting them out in a different way. I often feel like it's showing it to the wrong people. So I'll get more views than I used to, but less interaction. And I'm
Engagement.
like, oh, like you're showing this to people who don't know what Real Housewives are. And I'm like, I don't gain from that. You don't gain from that. This is not helping anybody.
Yeah.
No, I would say, you know what is a good tip. I told another Bravo Lab to do this that wasn't on TikTok. Just take those videos from Instagram, go throw them up on TikTok and start tagging stuff. And you're going to see that I wouldn't do them all in one day, but you're going to get a whole new engagement. And this is easy because you already have the videos done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So send them over.
I've done a few on TikTok. It's just not
Have
something
you?
that I've stuck with really. I think also because there's always the question of, oh, is TikTok going to be banned tomorrow? It's happened like three
Right.
times, and so I think I always get
Saved
spooked by
again.
that. Yeah, right.
Well,
Oh,
when
yeah.
TikTok went dark, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going over to Reels. And I was like, what is that? Like and it is just totally different of
Yeah.
like I was getting
Facebook.
stuff that I don't even interact with. Like I was like, why
Yeah,
is
the
he
algorithm
showing?
is not algorithming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
wait, Facebook Reels?
No,
Is that what
I
you're
was
talking?
on Instagram Reels.
Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
no.
and Facebook Reels, never
That was a
again.
hard night. That was a very hard night when it went away.
Oh,
Yeah.
the day TikTok was banned, I went to Facebook Reels and I was like, oh, I can't.
I know, because you build it piece by piece and it's just,
God, it was disgusting.
yeah.
Well, yes. And I put my videos out on there, but I don't do that many right now. I'm in a little break time. So,
Yeah.
well, Dylan. So are you, what else are you working on besides that right now? Are you doing other musicals or any producing?
Yeah, so my musical Pop Off Michelangelo is coming to London
Oh,
in May. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a comedy about the artist Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. It's a crazy
oh,
comedy, very gay and silly and ridiculous. And so
fun.
that hasn't been officially announced yet, but stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Well, and that
Awesome.
show is in England. I don't think we have a lot of fans over there, but you're always welcome to
Well,
post
if
anything in
anybody
our group.
well,
Yeah.
thanks. Thank you.
We love sharing content from our own creators in the group. So even if you just got something local and you're like, hey, just want to come, we don't care.
Oh, that's very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm always doing stuff in New York, so hopefully, yeah, if there is
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
definitely let us know.
crossover
I'm
moment.
40 minutes from the city, so
Oh,
I,
amazing.
yeah, any excuse. It's very easy for me to get into the city too. So,
I'll send you my secret video of the live performance that we did of the Real Housewives of New York
oh,
show.
I would love that. Yeah.
Send it to you
Well,
too, Lisa.
we are, oh, thank you. I love to watch it. We are thinking about doing a trip to New York in May for the group.
Yep.
So there's a Countess Luann show on May 3rd.
Oh,
We're thinking
amazing.
about, yeah, and I know her, what I call is her handler.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping to work with him on maybe getting a little meet and greet with her. And we're trying to do a few other things. About maybe 3 days we'll be in New York, just popping around doing all this stuff. So
Oh, very
definitely,
exciting.
I'll definitely let you know more
Oh,
details.
please do. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So, all right, you guys, anything else you want to talk about, Dylan? Any other promos or any little last stories?
Well, just keep your eye on me in case they do ask for me to
We
come
will.
back. Yeah.
You tell us. We'll be your
Yeah.
I'll
cheerleaders
let you
from the
know.
group.
Yes.
That's so cute. Anything from you, Jamie?
No, I'm all good. It was great meeting you, Dylan.
Mhm.
You too.
I know. I love our exciting stories. I think we're down to what, 8.5 months, something like that. And
Yeah.
NBC put out they're in Vegas, so they're starting to prep, and there's really nothing going on right now. People, I'm waiting too. So in the meantime, I'm working on some personal life goals and
Mhm.
not doing any influence and I hate the word content creating for BravoCon because it's too early. People aren't
Yeah. Same.
interested yet. But once
Just
that
us.
ticket,
Yeah.
just well, I love the podcast because then I got a whole bunch ready for later.
Yep.
Totally.
I can listen and it's been good. And but then I was like, oh, once tickets get announced, it's on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yep.
feel like with Bravo, when things are quiet, you know, like something's about to get like announced. Like
So
when there's
true.
a bunch of stuff going on, you're like, oh, okay. But when it's quiet, that's when we're like, okay, they're planning something.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I secretly, they're big. They're not small anymore. This
Yeah.
ain't the BravoCon of 2019 where they had 10,000 tickets. We're talking
Yeah.
25,000 tickets that are like the Willy Wonka golden ticket. And I was kind of kicking it in the book that the tickets should go on sale earlier because they're a big convention now.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, DEF CON, they all go on sale 10 months early.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, bravo. In my book, I was like, it makes sense if they put them out early instead of waiting until 3 months when people have to rush. And then and because they have such a long list of things that they do in order, it's kind of like if they put it out earlier, it would be great to have more time in between each thing. because there's steps to BravoCon. That's why the book is laid out in steps, you know.
Seems like it would only help everybody to start that earlier, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, otherwise it's a crazy frenzy rush for 4 months and everybody loses their mind. Everybody feels safe once they get their tickets. They're like, thank you, God. But then they're like, now they got the other stuff to figure out. It's a
Yep.
lot. But well, I'm excited though. It's going to be a big year for us. Well, thank you, Dylan, for coming on the show.
Thank
And
you
I
for
will
having
get it
me.
out later today and I'll send you a link to it. Maybe we can have you on again if you get asked and want to talk about whatever else you can do.
Would
So,
love that.
okay. Thanks. See you next week, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.